What's up everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to be giving you guys some tips on how to take the leap of faith, how to make that jump, sell your home in other parts of Canada and move east. We've had so many people reach out to us who have been following our journey and have been just very curious and amazed, and for a lot of people it's a dream of theirs too. And a lot of the time people don't really know, like, how do you actually do it? It's one thing to think about it, but what is that first step that you take? And I hope in this video that we can answer some of those questions for you. We do have some experience in this realm now. Not sure if there's any things that we may have done differently or changed. I think we nailed it. Like, we didn't have any big blunders or anything. We're gonna get into all of that in this video.
If you haven't been following our journey, we actually did just that. We moved from Ontario to St. John, New Brunswick this past November. And we thought it would just be a good idea to share our experience with you, but also some actual tips that you can use and some steps that you can take to put your plans into action as well.
So if you guys are anything like we were on realtor.ca day and night looking at places, but over time we realized that we had to narrow our focus. At one point we were looking at rural places, we were looking at places in the city, lofts, uptown, and it just became, too much to manage, and there was no real clear direction in what we were looking for. So once we sat down and really thought deeply about where exactly do we want to live, not only area, but like what type of housing. Do we want a mini home? Do we want a tiny home? Do we want a loft uptown? Do we want a single family home? Maybe something rural? There's a lot of different options there. So you really have to think about what it is exactly that you want. Once you do that, you can filter out all those places that, yeah, they're cool, but maybe they're just not right for us right now. Definitely helps get some clarity to your vision and your ultimate goal of finding a spot.
Keep in mind, if you do decide to look into the more rural places, then there's a couple things that you might want to be aware of. Sometimes the internet might not be as good in some of those places that are out in the country. And if you're looking for jobs when you come out east, it also might be a little bit harder if you're further away from the city or further away from where most of the jobs are.
And our next tip and the next step in your journey is finding a realtor that is specific to the area that you choose. I know a lot of you guys have been asking who our realtor is, but it really doesn't matter who our realtor is if you're looking for a place in Fredericton or Moncton or somewhere out in the middle of nowhere in rural New Brunswick. You need to find someone who specializes in that area. They are the one who's going to have the most knowledge, who's going to be the most up to date on what's going on in that city, and they're going to know the types of places that you should jump on or you should avoid. And this might also include having multiple realtors, and not multiple realtors in the same city. Definitely do not do that. But it is okay to have a realtor who is out in Moncton, who's out in St. John, and you know the reason for this. Those realtors are going to have advanced knowledge in those areas. So it is okay to have multiple realtors, but definitely do not have multiple realtors in the same city.
Something that we found very helpful, because of course we were in Ontario when we were looking for our house here in St. John, was to have our realtor take a video of each house that he went through.
Okay, here we go. Nice area. Quieter street. Bathroom, yeah, it needs a new bathroom. Well, the vanity and flush are pretty decent. Flooring's vintage. The place is spotless, like it's a super clean home.
And we weren't on FaceTime with him. He actually took a proper video and he ended up uploading it to YouTube, and then we could watch it after, and we could watch it over and over and over again. This was very helpful for us, and I highly recommend that you ask your realtor to do the same thing for you.
Definitely. I can't tell you how many times we rewatched the video that our realtor sent us, and you just don't have that luxury when the video was over FaceTime. That's kind of a one and done thing. And when you're making a purchase that is as big or as serious or as scary as buying a house, you definitely want to watch that video more than once. And I guess I should mention why I'm saying this. You're probably going to be buying this house sight unseen, and that's just part of how things are right now in the current climate with COVID. We bought our house sight unseen, our best friends bought their house sight unseen, and basically anyone coming to the Maritimes right now is doing the same.
So the next step in this moving process is to take stock of your belongings. So check to see what you have, start sorting, start throwing things out, start donating things, and really start to pare down what you own. For us, we didn't have a whole lot, so this was sort of an easy step for us. But one of the things that goes along with this is taking pretty detailed inventory of everything that you own. And the purpose of this is to have it prepared and ready to give that information to moving companies if you decide to use one, because they're going to want to know exactly what they're going to be putting on their truck for you. So that's something to keep in mind as you go through this process as well.
All that stuff that is just sitting in your basement, sitting in your garage, sitting in your living room that you haven't even picked up in months. Like, this is the perfect time to get rid of it. You definitely don't want to be paying to ship this stuff that you don't even use across the country. Moving is already expensive enough, and yeah, you don't want to add to it when you don't have to. Okay, and that brings us to logistics. You're ready to go. You're ready to make this crazy move. You're nuts. Why are you doing this? No, just kidding. It's not that bad. Logistics is probably the most stressful part of the entire move. I know it was for us. And it's only gotten worse in terms of pricing.
Don't say that.
It is true. We got our U-Haul for under $2,000. We decided to drive our own stuff out with our car towed behind it, which I drove from Niagara Falls all the way here to St. John. And I know now U-Haul rates have tripled, possibly quadrupled since then. With the influx of people moving from other parts in Canada, one-way trips out here to Atlantic Canada, U-Haul rates have skyrocketed. So I'm not completely sure if driving your own stuff out here in a U-Haul is going to be cheaper than hiring movers. Moving companies are notoriously bad. I was terrified reading all of the Google reviews when we were going through this process. I've heard nightmare stories of them jacking up the price at the final minute. This is why it's so important to take stock of what you own, have rough estimates of how many boxes, how much they weigh, so you can really narrow down that cost and not end up with any crazy surprises at the end. If you do have the funds, I would suggest hiring movers to take only your belongings and not having your stuff share a truck with a bunch of other people. 2 reasons for this: you know the exact date that it's going to arrive. Second, there's a lot less chance of something going missing, boxes getting mixed up together.
Just a couple extra things to keep in mind as well when you're going through this moving process is to, one, make sure that you have your finances in order. Things are going to probably be moving pretty quickly. The real estate market out here is definitely on the rise and houses are selling fast. So it's a good idea to have your money all ready and set to go, whether that be in your bank account or through a mortgage. Make sure that you have financing all ready to go. And we did want to give our realtor a shout out because we were really happy with him. He did such a great job for us in helping us find our home. And if you're in the St. John area, I would highly recommend reaching out to him. His name is Peter Coolin. We'll put some of his information in the description box below so that you can have his contact information. And yeah, I think he's a great connection to have in St. John, and he was very helpful throughout the process of looking for a home here in St. John.
So that's all we have for you guys today. Let us know in the comments if you found this video helpful or if you have any other questions that you want us to make a video on. We hope that maybe you found some inspiration and got some clarity in your search, and you can turn that idea into a reality, and we wish you the best of luck with that. And if you haven't already, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing, and we will see you in the next video.